tonight. A 6-year-old girl who had been missing from Burns Lake since Thursday has been found safe. Plus, the 2024 provincial election campaign has officially begun, and the Prince George Cougars wrapped up their highly anticipated season-opening doubleheader at the CN Centre. Good evening and welcome to CKPG News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Burles. Eddie is off tonight. It was an outcome many did not expect, but exactly 72 hours after 6-year-old Oaklynn Schweder was reported missing, she was found in a wooded area near her home. It was the best possible outcome for all those involved. Cheryl Jan reports.
The sound of a mother's joy.
And once I saw them, once we saw them, we didn't wait for them to bring our baby to us. We just started running towards her.
72 hours after 6-year-old Oaklynn Schweder was reported missing, she was found safely in a wooded area near her home, and the search involved many.
So our searchers and the community searchers had searched everything from fields to thick, dense bush, big blowdown to, walking along lake shores to running boats.
Oaklynn was reported missing at 6 p.m. Thursday night from her home in South Bank, 25 kilometers south of Burns Lake, and hundreds turned out to lend a hand.
It is extremely important that we get resources on the ground as soon as possible and start searching. In this case, we deployed resources from all over the province. Search and Rescue also had teams from all over the province. BC Wildfires, Wildfire Service assisted, Canadian Rangers. The band played a large part in this.
Sometimes the involvement of community members, of which there were a lot in this case, can be invaluable.
We want to make sure we preserve evidence. So sometimes what ends up happening, people just go anywhere and destroy clues and evidence. This was very well organized with the community. We all worked as one big search team, for lack of a better term, and the outcome was exactly what we were looking for.
Dave Merritt says the relief of finding Oaklynn could be felt far and wide.
I think if we were, recording Richter scale stuff, I'm sure it would have been felt, because there was a collective, like the SAR community in BC did that, because we were ramping again up for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were sending more and more resources at it. The community was ramping up, and now we're all, so the emotional dump, the emotional feelings of everybody involved was phenomenal. The SAR management team, I know, I've been there. You find it, you're coming down from an emotional high. And it's just the best news we could have ever got.
Despite the tension that community felt for many, many hours, it was the best possible outcome. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
One person is dead following a hit and run on Friday night on Highway 16 near Jardine Road. Vanderhoof RCMP and the BC Highway Patrol were called to the scene of a collision there just before 9:30 p.m. When police arrived, they discovered a pedestrian had been hit by a vehicle that did not remain at the scene. Sadly, the adult man was found deceased. The investigation is active, and police are looking to the public to help further the investigation. If you were in the area of Highway 16 and Jardine Road Friday between 9 and 10 p.m. and have dash cam footage, saw the pedestrian, or have any information regarding this incident, you're asked to call police. The BC Wildfire Service is continuing to fight a wildfire 15 kilometers southeast of Valemount. The 27-hectare wildfire that is classified as out of control began on September 20th, and fire crews have been battling it all weekend. Fire information officers say the rain and cooler temperatures have been a big help, and the fire is currently described as a smoldering ground fire. It's suspected that this fire was human-caused, but there is no immediate danger to the Valemount area, so no evacuation orders or alerts have been issued. This is one of nearly 200 fires currently burning across the province, and while it may seem late in the year for wildfires, BC Wildfire Service says that this is not that unusual.
We've seen a lot of fire activity this year. It's been very hot, very dry, and some areas are experiencing ongoing multi-year drought. So currently in the Prince George Fire Centre, 1/3 of all fires burning across British Columbia are actually burning here. So we have 66 fires on the landscape, and we do anticipate that wildfires will continue to either keep burning or will have new starts right up until the snow flies.
The provincial election campaign of 2024 is officially underway, and there is less than 1 month for candidates across the province to make their pitch to voters. And the run-up to this election has been anything but typical.
BC's political leaders have hit the campaign trail with a vengeance. The deadline for parties to nominate candidates or for independent candidates to put their names forward is this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. The Prince George North Cariboo riding is the only one in this region to not have candidates from all major parties. And there has been a reshaping of the ridings in this region, and that may make things a little different this election.
Absolutely. Take Coralie Oakes, who wasn't able to run as a BC United or a BC Conservative. She's running as an independent. She's a sitting incumbent MLA for Prince George Cariboo, but it didn't include Prince George before. Basically now it's College Heights. About a third of the population of this new riding is in Prince George, and the candidate for the BC Conservatives, Sheldon Clare, is from Prince George. So yeah, how will that play?
In late August, then BC United leader Kevin Falcon opted out of the election, leaving many of his candidates in a bind. It's something Chris Beach says throws this election into the realm of the highly unusual.
In the last month, there's been some definite kind of surprises, right? Usually a caucus fires its leader, but when Kevin Falcon, the former leader of the BC United, basically fired the rest of the party, without even really letting them know, yeah, that was a definite shock, and we haven't seen that before. But we have seen the center-right coalition in British Columbia reorganize and rename itself time and time again. So that part is not new.
But with the writ officially dropped, BC is now in the status of what is called caretaker mode.
Once the writ is dropped, those MLAs are not MLAs anymore. Those seats are open. And yeah, the government is in caretaker mode for a pretty short campaign, basically just 4 weeks.
Caretaker mode limits government communication to only statutory, routine, emergency, or public health and safety matters. It stays in place until a new government is formed and sworn in, which is expected to be late November or early December. However, caretaker mode does not mean the suspension of routine government work. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The BC NDP campaign office for candidates Shar McCrory and Clay Pountney opened today in the Stantec Centre. The campaign office will serve as a headquarters for Pountney, McCrory, and all the volunteers involved in the campaigning efforts, as well as a space to get to know the candidates better. Both candidates bring a wide variety of experience with them, as Pountney is the former chief of the Lheidli First Nation, while McCrory has worked with many local organizations and held many roles, including currently as an SD57 trustee. The office is expected to be a hub of activity as Election Day draws near, and as Pountney explains, running a campaign takes a lot of manpower and coordination.
We're on a really good trajectory, so a lot of people are gaining, we're gaining momentum. We're getting a lot of people behind us to help out in many different ways. We do have a lot of volunteers. We have people with signage. We have people setting up the office. We have people fundraising. There's all these major needs that we have in a campaign that we're still out there. We're still looking. We're still available to take in volunteers as well.
The Union of BC Municipalities, or UBCM, convention has wrapped up for another year, and the community of Vanderhoof received mention from David Eby. Forestry came up during the convention last week, and Vanderhoof had a chance to sit down to talk about the fate of the industry. Earlier this month, Canfor announced the permanent closure of the Plateau sawmill in the community, putting hundreds out of work at the end of the year. With a chance to bend the Premier's ear, the district says it wants government to look at issues around forestry policy and specifically tenure.
I want to recognize one community in particular that has faced a really serious challenge around some, frankly, some tough decisions that were made by Canfor that impacted the community of Vanderhoof. You know, when I sat down with Vanderhoof, the conversation was about how do we move forward? How do we solve these issues? How do we use the trees we have, the people we have, to ensure we're building a stronger community for everyone, not for the next quarterly report for shareholders. And that is exactly where we need to go, and it's those kind of constructive approaches that are going to make all the difference in the pressure that communities face right now. So thank you, Vanderhoof, and thank you to all of you who are working on this.
Canadian grain farmers say they are deeply concerned over a potential strike looming in Vancouver by terminal workers. The Grain Growers of Canada says a strike by grain workers would cripple crop exports, since about 52% of all Canadian-grown grain went to those terminals last year. This comes after the union representing the workers said a 72-hour strike notice has been served to their employers, with workers set to walk off the job at 7 a.m. Tuesday, local time. The University of Northern British Columbia has announced a new academic partnership with LaSalle College in Vancouver. This partnership will allow LaSalle College students to easily transition to UNBC for further studies, while also bringing innovative academic offerings for UNBC. LaSalle College will now serve as the Vancouver location for UNBC's 21-month Masters of Business Administration program, and UNBC says this partnership will also allow it to continue growing its research capabilities too. UNBC adds these expanding partnerships and the resources the school has access to as a great sign for the university's growth and provincial impact going forward.
Efforts like this are really going to strengthen us in our ability to build those partnerships and those networks that will allow us to implement the research that we're doing, but also train more students both at the undergraduate and graduate levels to have that bigger impact on the North. So I think it's not just about growing our research capacity or our initiatives. I think it's helping us to grow communities and economic opportunities in Northern BC.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is $1.52.9 per litre at Costco. The lowest gas price in BC right now is in Grand Forks at $1.47.9 per litre. Manitoba currently has the lowest gas prices in the country on average at $1.30.1 per litre. Meanwhile, BC has an average price of $1.64.8 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit dominos.ca to join the club.
The Prince George Cougars wrapped up their highly anticipated season-opening doubleheader at the CN Centre this past weekend. Here's Jaden DeMello to get us caught up to speed on the Cats' first two games.
The Cougars began their home opener raising their second BC Division banner in their home barn before kicking off the season against the Spokane Chiefs. The visitors opened the scoring, but it didn't take long for the Cats to get on the board and then take the lead.
Loosened for the goal! Cougars racking away! Where is it? They score! Mateo Denis has the first goal of 24-25. Here's Carlin Dezane wraps around the goal. Dezane, though, unable to get a shot away. Here's Mateo scores! Jet Lajoie makes it 2-1 Prince George!
Spokane would answer in the frame, and it wouldn't be till late in the third that Prince George would regain the lead.
Right point, McNutt holds, waits and looks. McNutt still at the right circle. Ephraim McNutt walks and shoots, scores!
McNutt's fifth career WHL goal would only give the Cougars the lead for a few minutes, and overtime was needed.
Right circle, here it comes, shoots them, rebound wide open, and they score! Owen Shetler, the overtime winner!
Spokane grabbed the extra point in Game 1 of the doubleheader as Josh Ravensbergen was named the second star, stopping 34 of 38 shots on the night. On Saturday at the CN Centre, fans were in attendance on 50-50 night with the pot over $100,000. The Cougars would concede first again, but after grabbing 2 points in Game 1, Jet Lajoie potted his second goal of the season to draw Prince George level, before his line mate, fifth-year Carlin Dezane, came up big in the third period.
For Prince George, goes to Lajoie right wing. Jet Lajoie to Dezane, holds to the goal, scores! Get pucks to the goal, good things happen! Carlin Dezane has his first of the year, and the Cougars take the lead!
Mateo Denis would follow up Dezane's tally with another one of his own to secure the Cougars' first win of the season. Despite being down 9 guys due to NHL training camps, the Cats earned 3 of a possible 4 points on the weekend to kick off their 2024-25 WHL campaign. Jaden DeMello, CKPG News.
Now let's hear what General Manager and Head Coach Mark Lamb had to say after their win, as well as some of the Cougars' key performers from this past weekend.
It was real tough sledding. We had, a young team. They had a young team too, so it was a pretty even game. But it doesn't matter what the opponent has. You got to play a real smart game, and that's what we did, and we got the win. Well, they are our leaders now, and we have a lot of leaders like that. You know, all the guys that are gone that's our leadership group. So these guys are picking it up.
Well, this is my 5th year, so I've learned a lot, and you know, just trying to show the guys and you know, lead by example, I think, is the best way to say it. Super proud. We battled in the 3rd there to get that win, and especially after last night, those are 2 big points getting, and no matter at the end of the year. So super happy that we got the win, and just moving on to next game. Lad's just a gamer, and you know, that's what makes him successful. So you know, he's kept up with me for sure. You know, I maybe even kept up with him this weekend. So he's been great. We've had a few young guys step up. Lemire was really good today, I thought. So you know, those guys are chipping in, they're finding their role, and you know, that's what we're gonna need especially when guys come back.
Last year, I was always looking up to Heider, Zemer, all the big boys, and I guess I don't know, the younger boys, I guess they're looking up to me, or they're looking up to McNutt, Zane, me, I guess, Foster. Yeah, it feels good.
And Prince George Cougars defenseman William Kometz has inked a 3-year entry-level contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. Kometz, who was invited to the Golden Knights 2024 development camp in July, is coming off a tremendous 2023-24 season with the Cougars. He ranked 2nd on the team in points from the blue line with 34 and also boasted a +39 rating. The Slovakian native also represented his country at the U20 World Junior Championships in 2024 and most recently helped lead the Vegas Rookies to a 3-0-0 record at the 2024 Rookie Face-Off in Los Angeles, where Kometz posted a goal and 2 assists. Prince George will soon see him in action again as he rejoins the team this week.
Good evening again. It is certainly an unsettled one for many areas of the province. This is a look back on our satellite. So this is the frontal zone here, really impacting much of the north coast. Heavy rainfall today, continuing into tonight as well, and we were impacted by that as well. We do get a bit of a break, though, going into some of the day tomorrow. The early start might be a bit unsettled with a few showers in there, but through the afternoon, we should clear out. So here's our future cast, and you can see a little bit still into the early mornings, but there's those breaks in the clouds through the afternoon hours. So that's where we have the potential for a little more sunshine coming our way. And then we're in for a big change again on Wednesday. So not all areas of our region will brighten up tomorrow, but certainly some, which I'll show you on the extended in a moment. And then there's Wednesday with that next big system coming in, bringing a good chance of showers in the mix. So southwest winds were a little gusty today. Those should ease up over the next little bit. But going into tomorrow, yeah, we've got a much nicer day ahead. And of course, it is today was the first day of fall, or the first full day of fall, so it certainly felt like that. But tomorrow, getting a bit of a better trend in the mix for at least a day or so. 20 degrees for our high, mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. Chance of showers, though, in the morning hours. Down through the southern interior, starting to heat up quite a lot tomorrow, and even southern part of the province as a whole. Tomorrow is really going to be quite warm, just a one-day warm-up, and then going and starting to see those temperatures back to seasonal. 15 for Fort St. James tomorrow, still hanging on to showers there, and up through Mackenzie, Burns Lake, 12 degrees with showers expected and even rain at times, but everywhere else looks nice and bright by the afternoon hours. So 22 degrees in Vancouver, a warm one for everybody along the west coast tomorrow, and stretching into Edmonton, Regina, Winnipeg, we're seeing that milder trend continuing, and even today, quite a nice day in much of Alberta and in parts of the prairies as well. So going further east, we're seeing some of those showers lightening up in some areas and getting more of a cloudier trend for some places as well, and maybe a few sunny breaks in the mix. So late week, we do have a sun cloud mix. We want to jump ahead a few extra days, but as you can see here, for the next few in some areas of our region, quite unsettled. 7 overnight tonight in Burns Lake. It'll be quite rainy and drizzly tonight. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, very chilly going into Wednesday, Thursday. Daytime highs dropping to the single digits, around 8 and 9 degrees. 10 overnight tonight at Mackenzie. You're looking at showers in the mix tonight. Occasional rain tomorrow. The same for Wednesday. And then Thursday, you start to get a bit of a break, although it is going to stay quite cool at about 11 degrees. Cooler tonight, McBride, +3, 24 tomorrow, though. Real big jump in temperatures for your day, and then dropping back down to about 16 degrees on Wednesday. And there's the next system coming in on Wednesday, possibly even a thunderstorm activity for you on Wednesday afternoon. Quesnel, really rainy for Wednesday, Thursday, so enjoy tomorrow. It'll be quite nice and bright out there, 23 degrees by the afternoon hours, and the same for us. We are going to see things start out with clouds, chance of showers in the mix hanging around from the system that came through yesterday and today, but certainly through the afternoon we should brighten up with a mix of sun and cloud, and then a drop in temperatures again on Wednesday. We're back to sunshine though come the later part of the week.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
The Prince George Spruce Kings also kicked off their regular season this past weekend, while the T-Wolves men's and women's soccer teams continued their campaigns on the pitch. Here's Jane DeMello with the CKPG Weekend Sports Recap.
Despite opening against the Surrey Eagles, the Spruce Kings shocked the reigning Fred Page Cup champions, scoring 3 unanswered goals to start the game and ultimately grabbing the win 4-1. In Game 2, Connor Williams scored in his second straight game, and after a late equalizer by the Kings, they needed an overtime hero.
Down, shot to the backhand, knocked off his stick. Loose in there, they score! Max Perchik from the point.
Perchik's winner would keep Prince George undefeated despite being outshot 42-16, with Ryder Green stopping 40 shots. The Kings ran out of gas in their final game, dropping their first contest of the new campaign 4-0 to the Langley Rivermen. The Timberwolves men's soccer team grabbed their first win of the season this weekend, Sunday in Saskatoon. After getting shut out by the Mount Royal Cougars on Friday, the T-Wolves found the back of the net 3 times against the Huskies, with Connor Lewis scoring the winner in the 70th minute, while netminder Logan Pierce followed up a 9-save performance Friday with 10 more in the win. The UNBC women's soccer team wrapped up their homestand at Massage Place Stadium this weekend. They were shut out in Game 1 against the Fraser Valley Cascades, with Britton Hinshaw stopping all but 1 of the 10 shots she faced. In Game 2, she was even better, making a career-high 17 saves, but the Trinity Western offense was too powerful as they snuck 3 past her. Claire Turner was a bright spot for the team as she tallied her team-leading second goal of the season to wrap up CKPG's Weekend Sports Recap.
Hello from the CKPG Today side. Got a cool one coming up over here. A little bit about the Aim High Walkathon. We're going to meet the Artist of the Month at the Yamanika Arts Center as well, Natasha Lupine, good friend of our show. And also, we're going to do a little bit of a Juiced Cleanse 101. Now, this involves a lot of drinking juice. Lots of it surprisingly good, considering there's celery in the juice. But I'm going to throw it to you on the other side. You ever done a juice cleanse? I'm going to guess the answer is no.
And you'd be right about that. I only drink basic glasses of orange juice in the morning. I don't know what constitutes a juice cleanse, so I'll leave that for you and you can tell me how it goes. Turning to our final story of the night, Kenny the cat is just the latest resident at the PG Humane Society, and he's looking for a new home. Here's Sam Bennison with this week's Forever Friends.
Listen to that mighty roar. This is the PG Humane Society's latest resident looking for a new home.
This is Kenny. He is a 1.5-year-old sweet boy who really actually quite enjoys hanging out with the kittens. We ran out of space and we needed to find somewhere for him to go hang out. And he didn't like the adult cats too terribly much, but he seems to enjoy hanging out with the kittens.
Kenny was found as a stray around the Nest Lake area.
He'd been hanging around there for a couple months before the people were able to catch him, and they were unable to have cats, so sounds like he was dropped off in their yard.
Kenny is a very gentle cat with a sweet personality.
He's pretty playful, and yeah, he doesn't mind being held. He's not a big fan of it, but he'll come up to you and hang out with you and sit on your lap if you let him.
If you would like to adopt Kenny, you can visit the PG Humane Society online or in person.
I think Kenny would do really well in a home. He doesn't mind other cats if he has enough room to kind of take his space. Again, home with kids is happy. He wasn't around dogs that we are aware of, but with slow introductions, I think he would be fine.
Sam Bennison, CKPG News.
All right, right, that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. CKPG Today with Caden Fanshaw is up next. And for a recap of your local news, join Tommy Osborne at 6:30. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.